on Prime Crime.
I know people are going to say, well, what's happened in the last 2 years? Fair question. We don't have many answers to many questions.
The curious disappearance of a young girl leaves a community and the nation reeling with intrigue.
Show me your hands.
The bizarre circumstances surrounding her father begins to draw intense scrutiny.
Can you assure me that your daughter's okay?
Yeah.
Is she with family? Can you just answer me if she's
I'm
with
done
family,
answering
man?
questions. If you want to arrest me, arrest me.
As investigators grapple with the unthinkable.
Can you tell me that she's alive?
You're gonna play the same word games that you played with me the other day.
This isn't gonna go anywhere. Like, this isn't gonna stop. So either get on the bus now or get run over.
Hey there, everybody, I'm Jesse Weber, and welcome to Prime Crime, where we break down the most compelling and memorable true crime cases from across the country. In late 2021, mystery surrounds the disappearance of a young New Hampshire girl who suddenly reported missing. But the most curious part of this whole situation, she hadn't been seen in 2 years.
Manchester police received a report this week that Harmony Montgomery has not been seen since October 2019, when she was last seen in a residence in Manchester at that time. The circumstances surrounding this prolonged absence are very concerning.
December 31st, 2021, Manchester police announced the mysterious disappearance of 7-year-old Harmony Montgomery, who was reported missing by her birth mother, 31-year-old Crystal Sorey, about a month earlier.
Manchester police became aware of this week, and I know people are going to say, well, here it is 2021, almost 2022. What's happened in the last 2 years? Fair question, all right? That's why I'm here today, because we don't have many answers.
Harmony's mother, Crystal, you can only imagine what had been going through her mind. We think about investigations working on a timeline. If the last time she is seen was back in 2019, what has happened all these months afterwards? Where could she be?
To understand how we got here, we need to know a little bit more about the sordid history of Harmony's family.
By all accounts, Harmony was one of the sweetest girls that you could have met. Harmony loved Minnie Mouse. She was a bright girl, a vibrant girl. She was born in June of 2014 to Adam Montgomery and Crystal Sorey, but they separated not too long after her birth.
Both these individuals have got histories of drug abuse. Within roughly a year, 2 years of Harmony being born, her dad, Adam, was actually imprisoned. So Crystal has custody, but because of problems with drug abuse, social services saw fit to take Harmony out of Crystal's household and placed her into the foster care system. Adam gets out of prison and he floats around a bit.
Eventually, Adam made the decision that he wanted custody of Harmony back, so he went through the process and obtained that custody.
Crystal wound up in a drug rehab center, trying to get her life back on track. While she was there was sporadic contact with Harmony. The last contact was Easter of 2019, where she was allowed to have a video visit with Harmony. Adam was married to Kayla Montgomery. The problem with Kayla, though, is that Kayla, just like Crystal and just like Adam Montgomery, had a problem with drug dependency.
Adam started to cut off contact with Crystal. He would block Crystal on social media, block her phone number. There were times when she actually came up to Manchester because she was living in Massachusetts to look for Harmony.
However, Crystal says she searched for months and was unable to find 31-year-old Adam Montgomery or her daughter. As detectives work to locate Adam to talk with him about Harmony's disappearance, they first speak with his then wife, 31-year-old Kayla Montgomery.
Police said, hey, we need to talk to Adam. Do you know where we can find him? And that sort of started the chain of dominoes.
At this point, time is of the essence, but given Adam's track record, he's proving tough to find.
During this time frame, COVID's going on, a lot of shutdowns are happening, people aren't seeing family much. The biggest factor is the dad being so much of a transient. He is going to be hard to track down.
Yet just hours after speaking with Kayla, police stumble upon Adam and his new girlfriend in Manchester.
I got 2 occupants pulled to sleep. We make contact right now. Show me your hands. Keep your hands where I can see them. Step on out.
What's going on?
What's your name, my man?
What? Adam.
Law enforcement discovers Adam in kind of like a park area, sleeping in his car.
You have anything on you?
No.
All right, come right over here.
What's wrong?
I'm just gonna pat you down, make sure you don't have any weapons.
What's going on now? What's the problem?
First and foremost, what they realize is Adam's there, his new girlfriend's there, his other kids are there, but guess who's not there? Harmony.
They don't ask about Harmony right away, but they keep Adam talking as they wait for other investigators to arrive.
You use still?
I haven't for a while.
I mean, you don't look like you're torn up. My sergeant knows you. Apparently you used to rip and run, and, you've been nothing but cooperative with me. All right? And I appreciate that. You guys want to talk to you? It might behoove you to answer some of their questions,
Some may say he was dealt a bad hand. He did suffer from drug addiction, and he had some run-ins with the law, criminal history. But at different times, he stood up and showed that he wanted to take care of his family. In fact, at one point, Adam Montgomery even tried to help himself. He voluntarily checked himself into rehab.
I haven't seen you in a long, long time.
Okay, what's going on?
We got a couple detectives that are coming down to talk to you.
Okay. For what?
People are wondering where Harmony is.
Yeah, I want to talk to him. Can I just get a cigarette, please?
What we want to do is try to find out who was the last person to see them and start asking, where was she? Where were you guys living at the time?
People are concerned about you.
I'm not talking to the police about nothing. Am I under arrest?
Right now you're being detained, yes. Not under arrest, but you're being detained.
Any particular reason you don't want to talk to them?
I don't talk to the police.
What's that?
Should I call a lawyer?
The spotlight narrows on Adam Montgomery as investigators begin to question him over the disappearance of his daughter Harmony. But coming up, he's proving to not be much help.
Why are you so concerned that I want to check on your daughter?
I have nothing else to say, Pop. You guys want to arrest me?
I'm not trying to arrest you, man. I'm just trying to make sure your kid's okay.
I don't understand. What's all this about, though? 5 cruises for
Guys
what?
are just driving around looking.
Yeah, I think I'm doing something wrong.
December 31st, 2021, Manchester, New Hampshire. Police are questioning Adam Montgomery about the disappearance of his daughter, 7-year-old Harmony Montgomery, who hasn't been seen in over 2 years. Harmony is legally supposed to be in Adam's custody, but she's nowhere to be found, and Adam's evasiveness is becoming increasingly worrisome.
Hey, man, what's going on?
What?
How are you?
Am I under arrest?
No, you're not, man. You're not. You don't have any warrants, sir.
All right, I got nothing to say.
Adam, right? Montgomery?
Yeah.
So, hey, man, the only thing we're trying to figure out is where Harmony is, okay?
Okay.
You're not in trouble.
They establish a rapport with him initially. They've spoken to him in the past. He's known in the area. But their goal here is to try to find Harmony.
Where's your daughter so we can check on her and make sure that she's okay?
Right now, I have nothing to say to you guys.
So you don't care if your daughter's okay?
I do. I listen, I have nothing to say.
Is your daughter...
If I'm under arrest, you guys can arrest me.
I'm not saying you're under arrest.
Okay, I have nothing to say then.
You just don't care how your daughter...
I do. Obviously, I do. My kid. Yeah. About all my kids.
The most interesting part to this is Adam's reaction to their questions. It's not like, oh my God, I've been looking for her too. Can you please help me find her? His reaction is, am I under arrest?
You have custody of her, right? Right. So what would you be doing wrong if you have custody of her and she's in a safe place? You know what I mean?
Police have to consider maybe the child just sort of wandered off, Maybe the child was kidnapped by a stranger. Maybe Harmony had gone to live with other family. And these were all avenues that police had to look at, all through this lens of 2 years in the past.
So I just need to know that she's okay. If she's okay, I can say, hey, DCYF, she's fine.
I have nothing else to say.
Can you assure me that your daughter's okay?
Yeah.
Do you know where she is?
Yeah.
Okay. Is she with family? Can you just answer me if she's
I'm
with
done
family,
answering the
man?
question. If you want to arrest me, arrest me.
The police were having a very difficult time kind of penetrating the shell that Adam Montgomery has around him, and he has it around him from long years of experience with interacting with the police.
You've been around the block. You're not in.
I'm under arrest. I'm under arrest.
I told you you're not under arrest.
All right. So I
don't
would
want
like
to keep going around.
I would like to go then.
I need to know that you saw your daughter alive recently. When's the last time?
Recently.
Why not? You're her dad. You love your kids, right?
Yeah.
So why the didn't you see your kid?
I haven't been around here, man. I've been in Maine.
Adam's overall response is, what am I supposed to do? There's no action for me to take. I don't know where she is, so I can't give you anything else. I think the sticking point for these officers was, Adam, why aren't you upset?
You see why we're concerned. Nobody's
Okay,
seen her.
I
in
get
2
that,
years.
but I have nothing to say. So, like, either you guys are gonna arrest me or not. I'm not under arrest, and I would like to go. That's it.
Just sad, man, that I can't even just check on your daughter and she's sure she's okay.
Okay, I have nothing else.
Like, you're
to say.
telling me she's okay, but I want to see.
But when it comes to discussing Harmony's mother, Crystal, Adam finally opens up.
Your ex, Crystal, I did talk to her. She's like not mad at you. She was kind of concerned. She hadn't seen her kid.
She's crazy.
When's the last time you had to talk to her?
2 years ago.
What happened 2 years ago? You guys stopped talking.
I don't even want to say it.
Would you guys have like another blowout?
No.
No, I got a Florida,
No.
and he's on probation.
She wanted to see her kid.
Result.
I let her see her.
This is just not a good visit.
I get nothing else to say, John. Right
Well,
now.
hey, if she did something wrong, I want to know. If Crystal's like doing something stupid, like I want to know that.
She's supposed to be with Crystal.
Yeah. So she's supposed to be with Crystal.
Yeah.
So if she's supposed to be with Crystal, where? Help me out. If Crystal screwed up, I need to know that.
I don't know. I can't say nothing else. I have no idea.
He's fumbling around a decent amount, but he basically says she's with her birth mom. And then kind of his defensive tactics come up.
If she's supposed to be with Crystal, I need some ideas of like what the hell Crystal did to your daughter. You're telling me that you didn't. You're telling me she's fine, right? That's what you told me.
Yep.
Okay. You know that she's not dead.
I got nothing else to say, man. Am I under arrest?
Dude, how many times have you asked that?
Well, come on, John, because I want to go. Go talk to Crystal.
I did talk to her.
Go talk to her again.
Interestingly enough, he responds that she's okay, she's with her mom, but Crystal is the one that's kind of set the wheels in motion here.
Though Adam seems hesitant, he does give some indication of where Harmony could be. But is he telling the truth?
I lost my house.
Which house?
On Guilford Street, and it was like right around Thanksgiving sometime.
Okay.
2 years ago.
What year?
2019. Sheriffs came, threw us out, and Crystal came and picked her up.
Kayla had previously told police this story that 2 days after Thanksgiving in 2019, Adam dropped her off at work at the start of her shift in the morning. Adam said, I'm going to be returning Harmony to her mother, to Crystal. Then when Kayla came out of work and Adam picked her up, Harmony was no longer there.
Why didn't you just tell me that if you have nothing to do with this?
Because the way you guys are asking me questions,
But you can promise me that nothing's happened to it.
dude, the way you're asking me it, man, it just seems crazy.
Did something happen to her and people got scared and she was like, dead? Your daughter?
No.
He kind of dances around verbally with them. It seems like he doesn't want them getting any further into his world.
Dude, if my kid was missing for 2 years, like, I'd be the first one to start kicking doors down. And I think if you knew somebody hurt your kid, you'd be ripping their head off.
Right, that's why I'm saying, like, up until right now, I had no idea she was missing.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to anybody. Like, my mind is exploding.
The police and Adam part ways without any substantial revelations, and without much new information, officials raise the bar in the search for Harmony Montgomery.
The Manchester Crime Line is offering $2,500 reward for tips that lead to Harmony being found. Additionally, local businessmen have also offered $10,000. Help us find this little girl. Someone knows something.
It took law enforcement a while to move forward with this case, but what they began to discover when looking into Harmony's absence is something quite sinister. No one, and I mean no one, had seen Harmony.
Up next, investigators catch wind of major evidence that might steer them towards the truth.
I don't want you to get tied into something if you didn't do anything wrong. And if you can tell me that you didn't do anything wrong, then I want to believe you. I got nothing else to say.
Hey guys, we really wanted to bring you this story about Harmony Montgomery and bring exposure about what happened to her, and we're going to get right back to it in a minute, but one of the reasons that we're able to continue to cover these stories for you is because of not only the amazing support that we get from you guys, but also from our sponsors. And I want to call out one in particular right now, a great partner of ours, Morgan & Morgan. If you're injured, it is so important to know your legal rights and whether you can be compensated. And that is where Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, comes in. They have an army of over 1,000 attorneys who will fight for what you deserve. They have a track record to prove it. Morgan & Morgan recently won verdicts like $12 million in Florida, $26 million in Philadelphia, and $6.8 million in New York. Seeing you have a case can be done in 8 clicks or less on your smartphone. Super easy. Their fee is absolutely free unless you win. They only get paid if you get paid. So if you're injured, you can easily start a claim at forthepeople.com/primecrime.
You can look me right in the eye and tell me that she's alive. She's alive. You know for a fact. I have nothing else to say.
New Hampshire investigators are searching for 7-year-old Harmony Montgomery, a small child who hasn't been seen in over 2 years. As her father, Adam Montgomery, is under suspicion in her disappearance, detectives begin learning his relationship with his daughter was anything but wholesome.
During the course of the investigation, an uncle comes into the picture who actually says that Adam had a history of abuse.
Adam's uncle, Kevin, tells them about Adam having struck Harmony in the face earlier in 2019, months before she disappeared. That was the moment that he became the primary suspect in whatever did happen to Harmony.
So now the police, they're on high alert because we have a child who's missing. There's a report that the father put his hands on that child. It becomes a red flag situation that's extremely important for the officers to get to the bottom of.
This alleged assault gives investigators another chance to question this father about his daughter.
We got a lot of worried people and scared people right now in the community. I don't want you to be painted as a monster. Well, that's what you guys are already doing.
Adam Montgomery is arrested, but it's not for Harmony's disappearance.
You understand what the charges are, right? Second-degree assault, right? Yep. Okay. There's also an endangering the welfare charge. Okay. And interference with custody. The second-degree assault charge, what is this referring to? Well, your daughter had some injuries that you know about when you lived on Guilford Street. What are you referring to? Well, you were there, I wasn't, right? Well, what are you referring to? Marks that were left on her by you. Absolutely not.
Much like the initial interaction in the park, Adam's demeanor is pretty blasé throughout. The time he gets fired up the most is when police are basically telling him that he did something bad to his daughter, talking about the assault.
What you just said to me, you guys are completely out of line. Okay, but so explain to me, how are we out of line? I have nothing to explain. Okay, but wouldn't you rather explain it so we can make sense of it than just have other people's side of the story?
They're not there necessarily to explore the circumstances around that assault. What they are hoping for is that he's going to make some kind of spontaneous admission about his involvement in the disappearance of Harmony.
Do you know that the reward is about $40,000 to find where your daughter is right now? Okay. When you start throwing money around like that, people come out of the woodwork that you would never expect.
This case has now kind of taken on a life of its own. The media is aware. The locals are aware. The politicians are aware.
You're sitting there telling me that right off the rip that there was something wrong with my daughter because of me. No, that's...
So if your daughter had marks on her at some point when you lived over there, how would you explain those?
I would love to know when that marks were there, because DCYF came to my house multiple times and closed the case.
They say, we're not saying you hit her with a bat or anything like that, but we did hear that she had a black eye, and Adam says, well, I didn't do that. That's not what happened.
If there was significant marks like you're referring to, I believe they would have flagged something at that point, and they would have said something. They wouldn't have came there and seen that the kids were well taken care of. All the kids loved being at the house with me. For you to sit there and say that it was inflicted because of me.
What's just going on? What we hear? Your daughter had a mark on her face that people, multiple people, have told us was inflicted by you. This is your time to tell me, kind of explain that. You know, if you're saying this was a mistake or this was an accident,
I don't even know what you're referring to.
You don't recall your daughter ever having a mark on her face?
He says Child Services showed up to do an investigation. And after going there multiple times, they deemed that it was a safe location and place for the children to be.
Why did DCYF start visiting you guys?
Between me and my wife and Kevin, we were supposed to pay the bills. He didn't pay the electric bill, and he took his and moved out. DCYF showed up and the police showed up because they said that we were unfit to have the children at the house because there was no electricity in the house. Everything was fine. The police showed up, seen that the kids was fine, there was nothing wrong with them. The DCYF showed up and they left.
Eventually, the sheriff's department came along, evicted the people who were there. The electricity was shut off for a time. Adam and Kayla and the children were living there with just a generator for power. And Adam and Kayla and the children, including Harmony, started to live out of their car.
You know what, man, I don't even want to talk anymore. This is just beating around the bush, man. It just seems a little too silly to me.
Well, I'm trying to figure out who can substantiate your claims that there's, you're not this, monster of a person that either DCYF made you out to be or your family who you didn't get along with.
Adam's story doesn't seem to be adding up, and when he's called out on it, he blows a fuse.
There's some discrepancies between what you're telling us and what other people are telling us. Why is it that you refuse to talk about her every time we bring her up?
Because you guys are just sitting here beating a bush. It's over and over. You guys asked me what happened the other day. I told you what happened.
You wouldn't tell us the other day.
It was just a charade. Yep, no, don't worry about it. You're not under arrest, and I'll come up with some
Thing about police and investigators in particular, when you blow them off and you do not give them direct information, that makes any investigator worth their salt. It makes them want to dig deeper and harder, because what's at stake here is the life of a child.
Can you make me a promise? Man to man? Can you tell me that she's alive?
You're gonna play the same word games that you played with me the other day.
It's not word games.
I got nothing.
Because we care, man. We want to know.
This isn't gonna go anywhere. This isn't gonna stop. So either get on the bus now or get run over.
I got nothing else to say. I want a lawyer.
It was at this point that police knew that they were on the right track.
Adam Montgomery is charged with second-degree assault for allegedly hitting Harmony years prior, and his wife, Kayla Montgomery, is facing charges of her own in relation to this young girl.
Police had identified roughly when Harmony had disappeared, and specifically when she was no longer living with Adam and Kayla. Kayla was continuing to represent to the state offices that they did have Harmony with them, and she was charged with various offenses relating to theft of benefits. Kayla was receiving food stamps and other benefits from the state.
But there's still not a clear picture of where Harmony Montgomery could be.
The investigators don't have a starting point. So they spend the next couple of months looking for information, You see the reward in this case skyrocket. Now imagine everybody that's going to try and come out of the woodworks and give anything they know for $150,000. That's the hope.
However, months later in August 2022, officials announce a monumental update in the investigation.
I'm beyond saddened that we stand here today to announce that the disappearance of Harmony Montgomery is now officially a homicide investigation. Harmony is a sweet and innocent child who deserves to be brought home to her family and friends.
Members of the Manchester Police Department, the U.S. Marshal Service, the FBI have devoted thousands of hours gathering evidence and pursuing numerous leads. All of these efforts have led us to conclude that Harmony Montgomery was murdered.
But what evidence do authorities have against Adam Montgomery? And one key piece of evidence is still missing: Harmony herself. With no body or remains yet discovered, do officials have enough to charge her father with murder? And will Harmony ever be found?
When you piece everything together, I think that was enough for them to say, we have to escalate this investigation. We have to move it up a notch.
Think about how much money that you're wasting and an effort. So I think we try to put the police at what cost, man. What the way to just waste taxpayers' money.
New Hampshire detectives are investigating the disappearance of 7-year-old Harmony Montgomery, who hasn't been seen in over 2 years. In October 2022, authorities announce a major update, bringing this long saga to a devastating conclusion.
Earlier this morning, Adam Montgomery was arrested for the murder of Harmony Montgomery in 2019. Specifically, Mr. Montgomery has been charged with second-degree murder for repeatedly striking Harmony in the head with a closed fist in Manchester on or about December 7, 2019. Falsifying physical evidence, abuse of corpse, and tampering with witnesses or informants.
If we don't have Harmony's body, we don't have her remains, how in the world can we actually come up with a cause of death? It becomes speculation. What we do know is that Harmony was witnessed to have been struck by Adam.
Adam Montgomery, Harmony's own father, faces a possible life sentence when he is officially charged with second-degree murder, and it's what happens after he's charged that unfortunately confirms investigators' suspicions.
You hear people come up with one gave a report to the police and it was like, Adam gave it to his daughters and Harry was worried about a river and he bring you to the store. They had the FBI and everybody else here digging up the river. I'm like, is this really right right now? Like, getting witnesses here.
That jail phone call almost brings the whole investigation full circle. Here's Adam on the phone telling the person he's speaking to that it's a waste of time for police to be looking for her. You know, that says two things. It says that whatever he did to her, wherever he put her, he's confident that it's somewhere really good, that the police aren't going to be able to find her without his help. But it also just goes to not caring.
More than 4 years after Harmony Montgomery's death, and even still without a body or remains, Adam Montgomery is set to stand trial for murder. But just before proceedings begin in February 2024, Adam makes a shocking move.
At the start of his trial, Adam was present for jury selection, but then when it came time for trial to actually start, Adam refused to appear. Another thing Adam did at the beginning of trial, he admitted to the abuse of a corpse and falsifying physical evidence charge. He didn't plead guilty to it, which is what a lot of people think, but he basically just conceded. He said, yep, the state has enough evidence. It was probably the best strategic move he could have made in the face of a very strong case.
The prosecution said that's not enough. We still believe that you were responsible for her death.
It's then that the gruesome details of what allegedly happened to young Harmony Montgomery are revealed, and prosecutors paint a chilling picture of unimaginable cruelty.
Where is Harmony Montgomery? Where is Harmony? When people across this nation were looking for Harmony, there's one person who is not. Her biological father. He was the only person in this world who knows where Harmony is, who butchered her body, and who disposed of her like yesterday's trash.
Kayla was there, she was a witness, and she essentially told police, I saw Adam murder Harmony. The information that Kayla gave was essentially that Harmony had been having bathroom accidents in the car, and Adam snapped.
For 2 years, that man got away with murder. And so he went to great lengths to cover up his crime. He carried her body with him for months, and he discarded her with zero appreciation for the life that he'd taken. And in the months that followed, he beat, he injured, he terrorized the only witness to his crime. She was his loose end, Kayla Montgomery, his wife.
She wouldn't let us know when she had to use the bathroom, and so she was peeing in the car.
How was the defendant responding when she had these accidents?
Getting angry. He would smack her in the face, or on her leg, or in her hand.
The vessels in the brain are very delicate. Dependent upon the amount of force that is applied, you can have these events where the brain literally slams up against one side of the skull. These little vessels, so delicate, can be easily broken.
December 7th of 2019.
Yeah.
Does that day stand out to you?
Yes.
Why?
This is the day that Harmony passed away.
What happened when she had that accident first thing in the morning?
Adam repetitively kept punching her in the head.
How many times did he hit her?
I can't count, I don't know.
Did the defendant say anything to Harmony?
He told her to shut the f up. Stop crying.
All it takes is one final furious blow to her head, and suddenly you've got a bleed that occurs within the brain.
Did he try to help Harmony while he was striking her?
Yes, but he gave me this look that was like evil. His crazy eyes, like he was gonna hit me.
When it came to hiding Harmony's body, Kayla says Adam went to extreme lengths to cover up what happened.
He took the duffel bag that was in the trunk and put her in the duffel bag.
Did you attempt to get away, to run?
No.
Why not?
They had the 2 other kids and I was scared.
Kayla, why stay with someone that does this to you?
Yes, I was scared. And I still cared about him.
She and Adam basically kept Harmony's body with them for a period of approximately 3 months as they moved from place to place.
Where was Harmony's body at the time that you were living in that car?
In the trunk of the car.
And what did he do with that duffel bag when you got to your aunt's house?
He placed it under the porch.
What did he do with Harmony's body when you arrived at your mother's home?
He put the duffel bag in the cooler.
Where did you go after living with your mother?
To the fit shelter, families in transition. Adam put her in the ceiling.
Lo and behold, as soon as they open up the ceiling and the detective pops his head up into the ceiling, he was able to see on top of the ceiling panels some staining. That staining was confirmed to be Harmony's blood and also confirmed to be Harmony's DNA.
One of the key elements here are going to be a succession of witnesses. You've got this fingerprint expert that comes on the stand who talks about the fingerprints and the handprints that had been left behind.
Were you able to identify the person that deposited that print?
Yes, I was.
And who was it that you identified?
Adam Montgomery.
That goes to verifying what Kayla had at least spoken to at one point in time, that she had been placed in the ceiling.
But remember, Adam took responsibility for everything after she was deceased. He says, yes, I was responsible for Harmony's care, and something clearly happened to her on my watch, but I didn't kill her.
What happened when those maintenance workers came?
Adam took her back down from out of the ceiling. He put her in a trash bag.
Did the defendant begin discussing disposing of Harmony?
Yes.
And what was his plan? What was his idea for getting rid of her?
To use lime and dismember her.
Did the defendant tell you where he planned to dump Harmony's body?
No.
To this day, we don't have a clue as to where this precious little angel's body is. Some people speculate that perhaps Harmony's body lay at the bottom of a saltwater marsh right outside of Revere, Massachusetts.
Police learned in March of 2020, Adam had asked a friend to rent a U-Haul. She and Adam had Harmony's body with them for that entire time from December 2019 to March of 2020. Police were able to identify the specific U-Haul that was rented, checked it with the Massachusetts toll system, and were actually able to see that on the night that Adam disposed of Harmony's remains, he was near Boston. That gave probably the best information we have to date about where Harmony's remains might actually be.
But the defense has their own theory of who's responsible for killing Harmony, and it isn't Adam.
Adam Montgomery did not cause Harmony's death. Kayla Montgomery was the last person to see Harmony alive and know how Harmony died.
Adam's attorneys puts forward this idea that maybe Kayla, in fact, murdered Harmony and Adam did not do it himself, but he participated in covering it up.
Adam's attorneys present Kayla's lying. Now, there's a lot of things that Kayla said that police had been able to corroborate, but in the moment, there were two adults in that car, Adam and Kayla. There was no way to corroborate that information.
I'm not pretending that Adam isn't innocent here. Adam is not. He and Kayla covered up Harmony's death. He and Kayla moved Harmony's body from place to place to keep it hidden, and then permanently hid her remains.
The fact is, to the best of my knowledge, she doesn't necessarily have a violent history, but by her own admission, she's deceptive, she's a thief, and she's a drug user.
The defendant was hoping that the jury would say, I have enough doubt in my mind that I'm not going to find Adam guilty of this murder because it could have been somebody else.
The defense calls no witnesses, but they take their time cross-examining Kayla Montgomery.
Several statements that you gave to the police and the prosecutor about the death of Harmony. Those stories changed a bit over time.
Yes.
Kayla was the state's key witness, but she was also a liar. Kayla had previously told police this story that 2 days after Thanksgiving in 2019, Harmony had been given to Crystal, and she had been working at a Dunkin' Donuts. Police learned that Kayla was not working at any Dunkin' Donuts anywhere. She had been fired, and she goes into grand jury and she repeats the same lie.
Kayla, that assault never happened, did it?
Yes, it did.
You describe physically trying to stop him,
Yes.
Adam. Nobody wants a person to strike and hurt a child. You cannot allow that to happen. You can't sit by and allow that to happen, right?
Right.
Okay. But you said that you stopped trying to do anything because he looked at you with the face of pure evil.
Yes.
So you just got scared and shut up, right?
Yes.
Her testimony left an opening for the defense attorneys to say, Kayla can't be believed in full.
When the defense tried to hit Kayla with well, you lied about this and you're convicted of perjury and you lied about that. I think the lies that Kayla told were to protect Adam, to protect her abuser. I think it helped the jury understand why she had initially lied, and therefore maybe made her testimony more credible.
You said the last time you saw Harmony, she was happy.
Yes.
And you had no problem with that lie to the grand jury, right?
Right.
The last time you saw Harmony, she was dead.
Yes.
After 2 weeks of testimony, the case is handed off to the jury. Following just 2 hours of deliberations, jurors sealed Adam's fate.
As to charging the defendant, Adam Montgomery, with the crime of second-degree murder, do you find the defendant guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
After having lived that case for upwards of 1,000+ hours, there's no doubt in my mind that Adam killed Harmony.
As for Kayla Montgomery, a plea deal is struck in exchange for her cooperation. She served less than 2 years behind bars after pleading guilty to perjury in an unrelated case. She is now free. Months later, despite Adam's final request to not make an appearance at his sentencing hearing where he faces life in prison, the judge forces him to be there in person.
I did not kill my daughter, and I look forward to trial to refute those offensive claims. That is all you have said about my sweet daughter's life. Another lie, like all the other ones you've told. She had a life worth living, unlike your own. And it bothered you to your core that she was nothing like you.
Think about what would have happened if Crystal hadn't raised the red flag, basically, if she hadn't gone to the mayor and hadn't gone to the police. The only reason anybody is out there looking for Harmony is because of Crystal making waves.
December 7th will forever be the darkest day of my life. Did she cry for me? Did she scream? Did she beg you to stop? I'll never know. You're too much of a coward to tell the truth and do one good thing for Harmony. You may have taken her physically from me, but she is always, always with me.
You robbed a 5-year-old girl, your own daughter, of the life that she was to lead. You stole from your sons a sister. You took a daughter from her mother. The charge of second-degree murder. You are sentenced to the New Hampshire State Prison for not more than life nor less than 45 years.
Adam Montgomery is sentenced to 56 years to life in prison for the murder of his own daughter. To this day, Harmony's remains have not been found.
What would be fantastic is that someday Harmony can be remembered publicly, that she will be properly memorialized, and that she will be a benchmark in time for the authorities that are responsible for watching over these fragile lives.
You know, Manchester isn't a huge city. Manchester can sometimes be a fractured community, but it came together for Harmony. So if there's a legacy to Harmony beyond being the amazing and vibrant girl that she was when she was alive, it's the way that she was able to continue to have a massive positive impact on the community, even to today. What I saw in this case was how Harmony became everybody's little girl.
In the end, Adam Montgomery's dark secrets were revealed, exposing the heartbreaking and disturbing truth of his role in the death of his own daughter. At the time of this recording, Harmony's mother is still searching for her daughter, in the hopes that one day she may finally put her to rest. That's all we have for you here on this episode of Prime Crime. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Jesse Weber, and as always, stay safe.